Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim, and if you're new here, I would love it if you'd hit that subscribe button and join me in all of my adventures. Happy 2022 everyone! I hope your holiday season was merry and bright and you are enjoying the new year. Feel free to let me know what your New Year's resolutions were in the comments down below and how well they are all working out for you so far. I've got this really lame sign here. I don't know if you can tell, but my thing only had two twos, so I had to draw my third two. I did my best, and you probably would not have noticed if I didn't mention it, but here we are. I also have this amazing candle. Oh, okay. Let me get off on a tangent real quick, but I'm not a candle person. I put candles in the background of my video because I feel like it just sets a little sort of ambiance or whatever. But this is one of the best smelling candles I have ever had. Strawberries and champagne. And I got it at Walmart during Christmas and it was like $4 and it's delicious, and I dropped it immediately after getting it and it was a whole thing. But anyway, that's a tangent. I'm just obsessed with this candle and I wanted you all to know about it. Anyway, a really popular thing to do around New Year's is look back and reflect on the past year. Now, obviously, I don't need to tell you that the last 2 years have kind of been a little bit crazy. We're not really out of the woods yet, but sometimes it is easy to lose yourself in the negativity of the world and the 24-hour news cycle. So I just wanted to use this video to remind everyone that it's not always all bad all of the time. Believe it or not, there were some good news stories in 2021, I promise, and that is what I want to focus on today. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Here are my favorite 3 good news stories from 2021, starting in no particular order with number 1, 11-year-old saves 2 lives in one day. On December 9th, just a few weeks before Christmas, Davion Johnson, an 11-year-old from Oklahoma, saved the lives of 2 people in one day. The first was a fellow classmate who was choking on a bottle cap. The classmate was opening his bottle with his mouth to refill it, and the bottle cap slipped into his throat. He began to choke. When he stumbled into a nearby classroom, Davion sprung right into action. He used the Heimlich maneuver, which he said he actually learned on YouTube, to dislodge the cap from his classmate's throat and saved the day. You can really learn anything on YouTube, huh? Later that same day, Davion went on to save a woman from her burning house. As he was walking home from school, he saw a disabled woman out on her front porch and the back of her house was on fire. Davion said, quote, "She was on her porch, but I thought, being a good citizen, I would cross and help her get into her truck to leave," unquote. I think good citizen is an understatement, honestly. This kid has impeccable ability to be in the right place at the right time. With 2 saved lives under his belt, he is well on his way to fulfilling his dream of one day becoming an EMT when he grows up. So that probably explains why he knew the Heimlich maneuver. As a reward for his heroic actions, the Muskogee Police Department and the Muskogee County Sheriff's Office presented Davion with a certificate, making him an honorary member of both of their police forces. Mayor Marlon J. Coleman of Muskogee, Oklahoma also awarded him the key to the city, saying, quote, "We're just happy and excited that we have people like Davion in our community. He represents what we all want Muskogee residents to aspire for," end quote. I couldn't agree more, Mayor Coleman. What an excellent human. In 2022, I propose we all aspire to be more like Davion and do more good. Now on to our second story. Great Barrier Reef gives divers hope for climate change recovery. Now, climate change is a hot topic, pun intended, and while there is some debate on this topic, there is no denying that some of our human habits have a negative effect on our overall ecosystem of the world. A good example of that is the Great Barrier Reef, which has been damaged in the past by rising water temperatures. The heat triggered coral bleaching, which kills reefs. As a matter of fact, 14% of the world's coral between 2009 and 2018 were killed by coral bleaching. Coral reefs are home to 25% of all marine plants and animals, but the decline of global coral reefs also threatens people who rely on reefs for food, jobs, protections from coastal flooding, and billions of dollars in tourism spending a year. Now I know that all sounds bleak, But remember, this is a good news video, so check this out. On November 23rd, 2021, divers recorded the birth of billions of coral babies in Australia's Great Barrier Reef. Scientists hope that this is a signal that the world's biggest coral reef ecosystem can recover from climate change. So exciting! Throughout the pandemic, biologists and nonprofits have worked hard to help restore what they could of the reef, proving that things are not so dire just yet. Marine biologist Gareth Phillips said, quote, "It's a sign of hope that it's doing well, and we need to keep protecting it. This event is a great showcase that it's not too late. It's got its pressures, but this is why we need to act and look after it." Guys, this is extremely good news. It shows that we are not too far gone with climate change yet. If we all do our part, we can help reverse some of this damage and leave our world better than we found it for future generations. So let's move on to story number 3. Patient with type 1 diabetes appears cured after stem cell treatment. Type 1 diabetes is a terrible, very dangerous disease to live with. It can cause issues with just about every part of your body, from eyesight to limb loss to sometimes even death. And while the worst of the symptoms can be treated with decent diet and insulin injection, the dangers do sometimes remain. Brian Shelton understands those dangers intimately, as he has had several life-threatening incidences revolving around his type 1 diabetes. That was at least until he became the recipient of this new treatment. In June of 2021, he received an infusion of cells that taught the pancreas to produce insulin. That's something that the bodies of people with type 1 diabetes cannot do. Early data from the trial found that Shelton's need for an injection of insulin decreased by 91% after he received the treatment, meaning that his body is now regulating blood sugar levels on its own. That means no more insulin injections for him, and that's crazy. Now, this is just one success story. The United States-based trial includes 17 people with severe type 1 diabetes and will continue for the next 5 years. But I mean, this shows things are looking really good, right? Hopefully, type 1 diabetes can be a thing of the past sometime in the very near future. Now, I know that I said that we are only going to be talking about 3 stories, but I feel like we would be ignoring the big elephant in the room if I didn't at least acknowledge all of the COVID medication achievements of the last year. Not only were scientists able to create several different vaccines for the deadly COVID virus, but they were able to test it and get it approved and out to the general public in a record time. Vaccines weren't our only progress. We also found existing antivirals like remdesivir, which limited hospital stays. We have monoclonal antibodies that works wonders in reducing deaths. And now we even have prescription drugs for COVID called Paxlovid and molnupiravir to help fight infection within the first few days of symptoms occurring. Despite high infection rates from Omicron right now, we are better equipped than ever to deal with this crazy disease and whatever future it has in this nation and in this world. That being said, that was my top good news stories from 2021. There were a lot more, but I didn't want to make this video too long. So I will place links down below to a few other good stories, as well as links to all the stories that I talked about below, so you can learn more if you want. For now, I want to thank you all so much for checking out this video. Give it a like if you enjoyed it, share if you're feeling so generous to do so, and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.